Double tap your ears because it's about to get loud. This is Forget About It, New York's no bullshit politics audio show. I'm your host, Bruce Cutter, and our guest today is a bit of a wild card. He's a Coney chief executive, Bradford DeLay. DeLay's background may make more sense in a boardroom than a train car, to be honest, but he's rose through the ranks of Amazon, General Motors, leading drone and automation, ecosystems design, all that stuff. After taking over for the transit veteran Tom Heaps as the head of Coney, DeLay has prompted some provocative plans to turn the city's aging subway cars into, cash printing machines, really. I mean, he's revered in the corporate world, and he's weird. You love him or hate him, he's the consensus candidate for the job, the transit Raj, if you will, holding support from the five largest tech companies who've invested heavily in the Coney. Today, we're going to grill him on his plan and hope to see what's happening here for this here Silicon subway. Bradford, welcome to the show.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
So I want to play, just to start, I want to play a couple of clips for you here. I have some real New Yorkers responding to some of your most recent Coney proposals and get a response for you. Here's a few.
I mean, skipping over most of the stations, but not the ones in Manhattan, just seems racially charged to me. Like, you're not caring about the people that have to live outside of Manhattan, the boroughs and the groups of people that have to live outside of Manhattan because Manhattan prices are way too much money.
Well, what do you think about that there, Bradford?
Well, first of all, I just want to say thanks for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak to all New Yorkers directly.
Not a problem.
Understanding that this is a little bit different than where I grew up in Atlanta. We have things down there that we do that we understand and respect are a little bit different up here in New York. So I'm enjoying learning how it works. But let me tell you really quickly about our Melee program, which is what that caller is referring to, the Make Every Line Express program. What we're trying to alleviate is the amount of time it takes to get from point A to point B in this city. And the problem we've identified is that we've got a lot of stations where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people get off, that's it. And when you're on an express line, everyone's happier. You can tell from our subway surveillance imagery that happiness indicators and indexes go up on express lines. General moods are more positive. And when we are stuck on constant local trains, we're not happy. So what we want to do is turn every line, make every line an express line, and improve the general happiness of New York City riders.
What do you think about this one here?
It just sounds super creepy. I mean, it's bad enough that I have to maintain the fiction that I'm not being recorded and watched when I'm going through the subway system. As I don't know, it just makes me feel really uncomfortable. I don't like the ads in the first place. I mean, if they could do a better job of having those funny ones.
Yeah, so Bradford, help me understand this. I see it, you're having some kind of augmented reality experience with some advertising here. It seems really, just flat out invasive. The people in New York, they want a commute that's peaceful. They want something they don't have to deal with. And it sounds like, first you got social media invading all the kids' lives and now ours, and now we got these ads here on Facebook. Is it going to be through some kind of sunglasses or, come on, what's going on here?
Well, first of all, Matt, let's understand exactly something about New York City. This is a loud place. This is a place where everybody is screaming at you nonstop. And if you're not getting pushed onto the subway tracks in the past, you are getting emotionally pushed around by all of the new startups, businesses vying for your attention. What we are attempting to do is to create a streamlined user experience that only provides the rider with information that they want from advertisers that they care about or could care about based off of their preferences in Facebook and larger Google data. We're able to understand what it is exactly that they want to see. And so we're just simply providing a better experience. And what that means is that these ads are going to look different to different people. So no more Dr. Zizmore, no more ads that are invasive or in your face. In fact, quite the opposite. It will only remind you to order from your favorite monthly subscription coffee box, for example, or just simply urge you to make sure that you have a bathing suit that is appropriately sized for the coming pool season.
Now, here's what troubles me about that. There is, what if I decide, I'm done with this company. I'm sick and tired of the service, and now they're in my face constantly trying to get me back, and they got all this information on me. Who's doing that? Where's the money going? Who's making money off of this? And is it going back to the subway? Is it going back to you and your startups? I mean,
Well, look, at Coney, the goal that we want to install in every rider is that we are a facilitator. We bring you from where you wake up in the morning to where you go do the most important part of your day, working, generating income for the economy,
so that we can spend it back into these advertisements.
So that you can spend it where you want to spend it, because this is a free country. After all, this is up to us to decide where we want to spend our money. And so we're simply saying, let me answer your question. We've created, along with these advertisers, algorithms that understand and predict when you're going to be over something. And we know it before you know it, when you're sick and tired of looking at one ad. And we're going to deliver a new experience for you. So that it always stays fresh and that your commute is always exciting.
What about, so here's the deal. What if the experience we all want is we just want to get to the work and we want our damn train to be on time? How about that? Do we need proposals for, some Tide Pods that we've run out of? Or can we just get to fucking work on time, Some of us are trying to say that. What would you say to New Yorkers who are like, listen, there's a sacred space. It's my commute to work. Keep your nose out of it and just get me there when I'm trying to get there.
Well, first of all, I would just point out that I think with the rise and dominance of fly cleaners and other automated laundry services, Tide Pods are quite a niche, Queens, if you will, necessity, and that many people in Manhattan no longer have the need
easy
for.
there, Atlanta. Manhattan may not use Tide Pods, but us boroughs, we love our pods, okay?
Fair enough, but I would go deeper into your question here. If all you want to do is get from point A to point B and you just want to be left alone, the fastest and the easiest way to do that is to create a subway that's generating money so that it can constantly repair and update itself. And that's what we've done by bringing advertising into a personal perspective in the subway. We've given the opportunity for Coney to reinvent and reimagine itself and create a profitable system that provides updates so that you're always point A to point B.
Let's move on here. We got one last clip here for Mr. Bradford here. Let's take a listen here.
I think it's some new age insanity that I have to smile at a face sensor when I don't even want to smile at a man who's staring me down on the street. I think that's ridiculous, and it just seems so crazy for me to give away all of my banking information, and all of a sudden this company now knows how much I made that month and they know what to charge me. I don't know, it just seems way too invasive for me.
It sounds quite invasive that it's all behind closed doors. We don't know what's going on, but you all know what's going on in our bank accounts.
Well, I think there's two fallacies going on here, Matt. The first is that we live in a world where we have a right to privacy. In fact, we very much do not. We are better off when we are transparent. We are better off when we are sharing this type of information. We live in a more just and a more fair society. We are able to create a system of fares that actually understands who can afford to pay and who can't afford. That's the first fallacy, that we assume that privacy is best. And second, something I struggled with coming from Atlanta, that there is a duality, if you will, between a desire to have progressive ideas implemented and then their actual execution. This is clearly the best and easiest way to bring about a progressive tax to this city. In my time in San Francisco, we absolutely smashed through some pretty impressive progressive corporate policies that fundamentally changed the way the city operated and shared the burden a lot more with the tech workers who were getting a great benefit from the city. So I find it hypocritical that New Yorkers want a progressive system. They want something that is taking care of those less fortunate. But when it comes right down to it, when the metal hits the wheel, the subway wheel, if you will, there's an extreme pushback.
I see your point there, but something that's a little tricky here is that we all do. We want to see prosperity take place, but there's a fine line between understanding what people's limits are and knowing a little bit too much about their business. And sometimes it just seems silly that there's going to be this much invasiveness, because we're not just talking about some peek at your income and make sure money's there. We're talking face sensors and charging automatically. How do you know who I am? How do you know what I look like? What's going to be the safe holds there if I get charged improperly or something like that?
Well, I think what we need to understand is that we are working with a world-class partner in Citibank. Citibank, a leader in banking from over 150 years. For over 150 years, they bring that validation. They bring that expert service, and we rely heavily on them. And that's why this is a program that's not available with other banks. You have to be a Citibank account member in order to ride on the subway.
Okay, so you're saying we have to stay loyal to a single bank here. Okay, that's interesting. That brings some more issues. I don't want to drag it on forever. I know your time is valuable here, Mr. Bradford, but there's just a lot of red flags that are coming up, and I don't know. It seems like somebody's got their hand in your pocket and might be Mr. Citibank himself. Who knows? I don't know.
Well, I've got as you know, I've got a black car waiting outside. So I think the last thing I'll say is that if you want something better, you have to change. And this city, for all its great creativity or its history of ingenuity, seems quite stuck in its ways.
All right, well, that's one opinion. You heard it from Mr. Coneycard himself here, city man, bank in hand. Let's give it up for Mr. Bradford. Appreciate your time today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cutter.
Have a good one.